Hello, everyone. My name is James Lane, and you're watching Hot Media Live. I'm so glad you could join me. On tonight's broadcast, I'm going to give you a music video, band interview, and live performance video, all from the band Silent Fury. And for those of you that don't know, Silent Fury is a progressive rock, punk, metalcore, and sometimes funk five-piece band from right here in New York City. So sit tight, get comfy, and let's get this show started.
Oh, James, when you're scaring us with your mask on.
He's auditioning for a character in the show. Isn't this a character in the story?
No, he could be.
Definitely.
Actually, James Lane, you could be in the story.
I could be in the story, huh?
Yeah, so we're writing another song for Victor's book, and it's about like the lead protagonist woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she is attacked by people that look like you.
Black?
So it could work. What?
Black people?
No,
oh, it's us.
Horned futuristic mutant freaks.
Oh,
that's what we're talking about.
So
I just wore this because I figured, my profile pics are this, so you know who I am, I guess.
He's come dressed to the party.
Yeah.
Have you met everybody? You've met everybody. I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Why don't you introduce us, Jasmine?
Well, this is my friend James Lane that I've known forever. He's amazing. And his band is Elephant Killer. They're really, really good. And So this is
Hi,
Steve,
Steve.
drums
Hi.
on top here. This is Gabe, guitar,
Hi,
James,
Gabe.
other guitar, and Andrew, bass.
So how's the rehearsal been going? Doing this online rehearsal?
It's hard because what we want to do is we want to hardwire. We want to all like use Focusrites.
Okay.
So that we're hardwired in and we have a better sound, and also get us all on the same speed on the internet. That's our big problem, I think.
Well, right now we don't have the ability to hear each other real time because none of us have our Focusrites but Jasmine yet. So what we're doing is just composing.
So if you guys try playing along, how does it sound or work out? Not at all.
It doesn't work, yeah.
You can't, there's no real time. There's too much delay, so you can't.
It's like guessing at the song.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was showing Jazz how a friend of mine, we were practicing singing duets together. And so it probably works with like smaller amount of people, like 2 people, it probably works well. But once you get like more than 2 people, it's probably a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's slow music, it's possible. But once you speed up or you get more than 2 people,
oh yeah, forget it.
It doesn't work anymore.
That doesn't happen in a real life situation. I mean,
right?
So if you want to interview us, it'd be like a straight interview.
All right, so then let's take this off. I'll show you my real face.
Yeah. Oh, see, so much better, Racing Dion.
It's too scary. Way too scary.
Yeah, no, much better.
Would you want to start off the interview? Would you like to tell everybody, introduce them to the band, tell what you guys are up to?
Yeah, cool. So thanks for having us on, James Lane. So my artist name is JazzRock. My friends call me Jazz. And this is our band, Silent Fury. What we're up to right now, so we had our last show was on International Women's Day at Red Lion, headlined. It was really awesome. We helped to raise money for Sanctuary for Families as through our playing. And so we don't really want to stop. And what we're working on right now, as you've caught us here on Zoom Live, we have been writing a series of songs for a comic book going into video game, potentially going into film. The comic book is called Takashi the Wanderer. And one song we already have out is called Takashi Anthem. It's everywhere on all channels, but it just got picked up on a very cool website last week called Fan Powered Network, where they tie in the lyrics into casual arcade games. So that's kind of cool. And so right now we're working on our next song called A Song for Emily, which is about the female lead in the story. And eventually when we want to take this and make a whole kind of rock opera that we can perform on stage.
That sounds very exciting. So how did you guys come up with that idea?
So I came up with the idea of doing a rock opera because with a couple of different groups, we've been teasing that idea around, and it seemed a natural thing that if we got a comic book that we just wrote and Jasmine produced a song, a basic piece of music that has several parts to it, to be the main music that backs the video game that we're currently using as the promotional music for the commercial for the book, for the graphic novel or comic book series. And so I've been thinking for a long time, why don't we, take the characters and the scenes and actually flesh it out? Because when we have the book out and we're promoting the book and trying to get video game production going, we could be helping that along by having something really interesting to perform, which is a rock opera.
That sounds great. At your shows, thinking about all this, so during the shows, you add a lot of this different elements into it. So is it you guys performing on stage? Do you also add in any projections or anything like that? Sort of just kind of curious.
Well, the vision is to, if you don't mind, Jasmine, I'll just...
No, I don't mind. I mean,
the vision is uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Victor, who's the one who created the graphic novel, keeps coming up with these single plates of illustrations of scenes and stuff from the novel, or scenes that are a little bit more descriptive or inclusive of the theme, that we plan on projecting on a back screen for each song that we're doing. And it might even turn into like a few pictures taking people through the scene as we play each song. So it might have a sense of taking people through the story a little bit while we're playing the rock opera, with projections in back and different voices singing different songs and different scenes throughout the whole opera.
Very cool. Let's go to jazz for a quick second. So last time we spoke about music, you were just sort of getting in and dabbling and sort of feeling everything out. And so it just seems like organically, and I hate to just always throw those terms around, but
Yeah.
it just seems like this sort of project came together just naturally. Is that true? Or I'm making an assumption there.
Well, I would say that this project came together by going through a bunch of people, and also me learning quite a bit about everything about, from a singing standpoint to finding a range to finding a style. And I feel like we, the five of us, we fit together well, because we just, I don't know, we're a good fit, and we respect each other's opinions. And I was in other bands before this where it was like one person's way or the highway that didn't work. And I was also in a bunch of cover bands that didn't work for me. They wanted me to be Axl Rose, and I'm like, I am not Axl Rose. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy doing originals. And that's what I find is I grew up as a poet. I've always written poetry, and I'm a writer. So, and I love the stage. So for me, like writing originals and coming up with really cool stories that have meaning and make a difference is really cool. And I think everybody here, is just like an open-minded person that wants to grow. So I think that's how, for me, that's how it kind of came together.
Yeah. And that's one of the last conversations I remember us having was, when you were still in the band that wanted to do covers and wanted you have the voice of this singer and that singer. And there was a couple of things that you did. I forgot if it was like an original piece that you shared with me. And I was like, wow, actually, I feel more of like just to throw names out, like a Iggy Pop or Patti Smith, because of the poetry was so heavy in it. And your performance is a different level. Like I had that kind of level of performer in mind, rather than just like the person that's crooning and dancing, but like something that's more raw and intense, so it seems really like a nice collaboration with all you guys.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome to collaboration in music is really the key. And that's how people always say, oh, what do you guys sound like? And my answer is always the same. I say, I don't know, you listen to us, because I don't want to define, you know what I mean? Like it's subjective, it's art. So I think that's kind of cool. You can create things and then see what other people think.
Yeah.
I think I want people, when they listen to us, to be open-minded and to know that we're all coming from a place of like musicianship and collaboration, and what we're developing is something that has a statement that's like in part certainly entertainment, but in part like really our own, and also that it's something that can, at least the way I write lyrics is like something that can make a difference in someone's life, so I want them to have that open mind when they come to the shows, when they listen to the song, they go to Spotify and listen to us or whatever, that it's that there's intention behind it, and to kind of embrace it more than just like, oh, it's just another rock song, or oh, it's just a punk song. And also that we also have like what I like that we do, what I love, what Andrew talked about is like we come up with, like right now we're doing anthems, but we also come up with like really cool punk songs. So it's like this mix of like emotion through the songs, some can be very serious, and then others just are there to make you laugh your ass off. And so I want people to know that they can expect that from us, you know.
That's pretty cool. And I'm going to ask Gabe and James, so what about you guys?
Yeah, I feel like ultimately, I just want people to be like them to be challenged a little bit and like hear something that's great and then want to look a little deeper. Because I know when we're working together and making music, we'll like pull different pieces from different areas of inspiration. So now that we're in quarantine, I've been like studying a lot of jazz chord progressions. So I want to start bringing that in, but then people are like, okay, a little less jazz, more rock and roll, and then we find a balance. So hopefully people can hear the diversity in sound.
That's very cool. James, other James?
I guess I feel the same way. I hope that I hope it comes across that we all have sort of different backgrounds, we all like different things, and the music that we're making as a group kind of reflects that. And I hope people enjoy that.
Very cool. And Steven?
I'm having a lot of fun collaborating and facilitating this whole rock opera composition thing, having a pretty deep music background. Myself and both my parents world-class opera singers, and I grew up with music and trained, and I'm a voice teacher also. So, you know, it's my whole life, and I'm having a lot of fun also pushing and challenging the band a little bit. We have a little, I have a little challenge I've issued to everybody that if they could start to study and learn some modes, because that makes music better, using some modal chord progressions and scales, then I would come up with one really good grunge and one really good metal groove on the drums and play them each with appropriate feel for the genre. Everybody seems to have accepted that, and we're going to be infusing that, because I think the rock opera is going to need that at some point. It's going to need that strange, mysterious feel that modes can bring.
I just keep asking myself, what would Miles do? And that gets me halfway there.
That's awesome. And it's funny too, because when you're mentioning modes, I'm like, I don't even know. So I'm one of those like self-taught kind of punky dudes, and you know, I just picked up a guitar and bass and started playing, and I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So I love that challenge that you set out there, because I know it's going to make all of you guys really work together and create some new amazing things. So Andrew, what about you?
I sort of think this is a tough spot that we're in right now. I like it a lot more when we meet in person to play music. I feel like things come together much quicker and better too as we're together. It's as like Steve and Jazz said, we're only like composing right now. Like we just tried to play today, but just like I just sort of miss like getting together and actually putting a song down, because we were putting a song down like at least one new one a week.
Yeah.
It's close to that, if not, like, you know, we would make a couple one day and then the next week we would just practice the ones that we made. So it's a tough spot that I think we're in right now, but I hope we can keep playing and get out the music that we want. I think what you're doing right now is a great thing. Like, this is really cool to get in tune with who's still trying to get out there and which bands are out there playing music. I think this is a really good thing. So thanks too for doing this.
Well, thank you for accepting the offer, because trust me, so many people like, that's weird, I don't know, you have to have some kind of format, I can't do it, can we try this again? I'm like, dude, don't stress. You know, it should be very free flowing. It's just share, because as artists, and you know this right now, forgetting about what we're lockdown that we're in right now, as an artist, you guys get together, you compose, you rehearse, and you put together shows.
and it's always a struggle for us to bring people into the shows to show them what's happening, right? And so now at least I figure, at least maybe, hopefully, this gives you an advantage of like, okay, you know, you can't make it out to the show, it's too late, it's too early, you have a conflict. Here's our broadcast, here's our interview that we did, here's what it sounds like when we try to rehearse through Zoom. Here's a past video of us, and you can share that link, and they can watch it on their own and say, oh, you guys are awesome. Oh, I look what you're saying. You know what? I want to definitely come out to your show, you know, after we get all locked down, and bring like 15 friends with me, you know, stuff like that. So that's why I figured, you know, rather than using the time to sort of like, man, what am I going to do? You know, to get people like you that are courageous enough to find ways to make it work and planning on what you're going to do once we get out of this. So thank you all. Jazz, is there more things you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think you know, like Andrew mentioned, you know, it has been hard because you don't have the kind of like the creative juices in the room and all of that. And you know, I kind of, you know me, James Lane, that I'm kind of aggressive with business and I get things done, you know. So like I'm like, all right, we're gonna have an album this year and I'm gonna produce songs, you know, get a single out every month, whatever. I mean, this is slowing us down, but it's not, and we are not only musicians, but you know, entrepreneurs and musicians to me are the same. You know, I do a speech on that, and it's about being creative, being innovative, being resourceful, and I think we will still hit our goals no matter what this year, whether it's an online thing or hopefully offline. But I think we're still moving forward. We're still gonna get our originals out there. It might be a little bit slower, but we're still on board, you know?
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to do a quick go around with you guys because I really didn't ask about this. So with this lockdown, how many of you are affected by working? I mean, are any of you essential workers that are, you know, what's going on with each of you?
All right, I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very particular kind of voice teacher. Really, my voice work starts with physical work on a bodywork table. So being that I really have to be face to face with people initially, it's been a little bit rough. You know, I only have a few students that are online right now that are taking lessons, and it's like my business is shut down, you know. And I think partially also because people aren't thinking so much of singing and music and wanting to progress and all that, because we're all still sort of dealing with the shock of everything. You know, I still find it. I'm giving a workshop next Monday night, which has to do with breath and voice and acting, and for singers and actors, and it's very deep work, and I'm going to do it online for the first time. But you know, I'm going to give it for free because I can't ask people to pay right now. Like my checking account's dwindling. Everybody else's checking account's dwindling, other than those who are working. And maybe I'm the only one in this group that's not actually really working. But it's a little bit stressful. But I'm also enjoying a lot of the peaceful time with a little bit of relief of all the pressure, and able to get to some creative things I haven't done before for quite a while. So it's good and it's not so good. So we'll see. Hopefully the you know, the virus will run out before the money does.
And Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, like certain projects, like I work for Local 52. I also go to school. Local 52 though is it's a film production and TV show production union. Like I deal with property, so the props there. I set up like chairs, and I bring instruments and whatever the people on the set need. I get to, but there hasn't been anything in the last week and a half. They haven't been bringing anything new out because of this. So they're sort of closing the doors. I'm sure they have some shows still going on, but like the one that I was on, like this Rise of Khan Power 3 is made by like originally 50 Cent. He made like Power, but this is like the third, I don't know, third edition to it, and they stopped shooting episodes for it, and they were mid shooting episodes when I was working with them. So, it's sort of a little difficult. I mean, I was going to school too. I mean, I still live at home too, so I got a little lucky, you know. But like even at school though too, like I'm doing everything online like this. Like I still have to go to class through Zoom, and that costs some money. So I'm not trying to actually leave school. I'm trying to still go to that. Still attend school online. So it's a little tough. So it's definitely tough. I feel Steve too, like with this business, like it's in the, you got to make the most of it, I guess. Right now, I mean, I understand why we can't all be out there. I don't want like a zombie apocalypse happening. Not yet. Not until we have a lot of guns. No, not at all.
Well, I tell you, you go outside for 2 seconds, it feels like there's a zombie apocalypse that already happened. Oh,
you know, I was going to the health food store today, just a quick story, to get some food, and they were closing 3 hours early. There was the 10 people line outside, and we're only allowing 2 people in at the same time to be shopping. Right? Everybody's wearing everything, right? Yeah. And it's like, this is nuts. This is crazy.
And they didn't start a riot. Those 8 people.
Well, there's only 10 people online, you know.
It must not have been in Harlem, because I know
Upper West Side. Everybody's real nice on the Upper West Side.
Yeah, that's funny. And James, what about you?
I usually work in a research lab at a university, but these days I'm at home all the time. But, my supervisor's kind of keeping me busy with computer work.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And Gabe?
Yeah, I work for a online education company. So things are actually like picking up for us in a weird way. But yeah, I've been working from home. We're thankfully designed to work remote. So it's working out pretty well. But yeah, I have a lot of my friends who have lost their jobs, and I just miss hanging out with people and listening to music and playing music. That's the thing I miss the most. So I'm just kind of going to school in my bedroom here, studying as much as I can before the world opens up. Hopefully I can get a bit better.
Yeah. And Jazz, what about you?
Well, actually, I'm pretty busy. I have 2 client projects that are super busy. Both are launching online businesses for 2 different clients. So that's interesting, and that's good. And then also, you know, the thing that I get hit the most is, you know, I run an event series and a conference for women, and the event was originally scheduled for April 6th, and we had to push it to April 27th. Now we're probably going to push it to the summer, and that equals about a $20,000 loss for my business. So definitely hurts. And then I had, like, you know, employees, I can't work with them. So it's really difficult. You know what I mean? So in the one sense, like Steve was saying, it does give us some time to refresh. Also, what's interesting is it gives us time to communicate with people that we haven't communicated with. You know what I mean? Like, I find that a lot of my friends that I haven't talked to in years are FaceTiming me and all this jazz, you know? So that's interesting in how it's bringing people together, family and old friends. I think that's good, but the hard part, I mean, the hardest part for me is I'm a total outdoors person, so it's driving me crazy. But I think the harder part is, you know, just not to get on a sad note, but people are dying, and like, how do you deal with that? I don't know. It's like, you know, you got to keep going, but you also have to respect. And that's, Victor actually had a friend, old friend that passed away yesterday. It's craziness. So it's like you know, it's a hard time to like keep your emotions straight. And to like what Gabe was saying, like the music and being around people does help you do that. So I feel like even this helps us, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I shared with you that one of our New Yorkers, Alan Merrill, you know, the guy that wrote the original "I Love Rock and Roll" just
Yeah.
passed away. You know, and I'm like, no, you know, because I used to chat with him every now and then about like health stuff, and you know, because in the past he had like issues with chest stuff or whatever. It's hey, do this, do that, do that, and so when I heard the news, I was just like, oh my god, no. But you know, this is what it is. You know, to keep my sanity, what I do is like, you know, I'm trying to put everything in perspective because you watch the media, they're like, so many people are infected, so many people are dying. So I'm looking, but I'm like thinking, ultimately, the normal flu kills roughly about the same amount of people. I put together a little chart for myself to see, like 2017 and 2018, it was like 60,000 people in America died from the flu. So yeah, and that's pretty high number. And I think it was the ratio of people that got the flu and died from it was much higher than we're seeing with this COVID thing. But I don't want to get into all that stuff because I don't want people yelling at me. It's like, yeah, but it's, you know, I'm just saying. So as horrible as it is, there's still some level of perspective of like, you know, it's around the same as the common flu, which is really interesting to me. So, so everyone just wash your hands. All right, that's the message. Just like with everything, wash your hands, keep clean. And then, I don't know if the spit. If you're COVID positive, I don't know if the spit works, but it might give you herd immunity. I don't know how that works. But what's he got there? Oh, there you go. That's cool. All right, guys. You know what? I think let's let the audience check out some of your music. So I'm going to switch to a clip right now, and so we can see what it's like to watch Silent Fury live and unleashed.
world is following me. Come on. I'm floating 1, 2, 3, and 4. This world is knock, knock, knocking at my door. Coming 1, 2, 3. Sticky and green and sweet. You see, this gummy weed is driving me insane in my brain. It's driving me insane in a good way. This gummy weed, yeah, it's coming my way. But it would be nice if you did. So how many of you guys like run into troubles and you pray to God, like, help me out here, and then you feel like he's not listening? He's not listening, right? So this is my song for God. When God speaks to me, I am listening. When God speaks to me, I am listening. I'm waiting for him to guide me, to find me, to lead me to my purpose. For me,